Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ali at Integrated Nclex. Um, Yesterday we talked about heart sounds, and we explained about the heart sounds, what produces the normal heart sounds. So just a build up for heart murmurs. So today we're just gonna go ahead and cover heart murmurs. What's the whole big hype about it? What is systolic murmurs? What is diastolic murmurs? What the hell is all about? Because a lot of students are confused. Not only nursing students, medical students are also confused about systolic murmurs, diastolic murmurs. And I bet you if you go and do your last practicum and you ask your preceptor about systolic murmurs, which one is the diastolic murmurs, they will tell you, I don't know. So let's just jump into it. So heart murmurs. So let's look at what's the normal heart sound again. Initially, we looked at it yesterday. It was S1, S2, S1, S2. It keep on going like this. You lub dub, lub dub, lub dub. So the time between the S1 and S2 is called a systole. And the time between the S2 and S1 is called a diastole. If you look at the screen there, I just keep on going. I just put the arrows there. So diastole is in the red and systole is in the blue. So you keep on going like this. So the time between the S1 and S2 is called systole, and the time between S2 and S1 is diastole. You can see on the screen now, I put like 2/3, 1/3, 2/3, 1/3. What is he doing? What the hell is he writing? What's a 2/3, 1/3 is all about? So what it's all about is your heart spent 2/3 of the time in diastole. Why? Because your heart is selfish. That's right, your heart is very selfish. The heart likes to spend lots of its time in diastole because, why? Because there is coronary perfusion. So if you don't spend the time in diastole, there will be no coronary perfusion. So that means you know what's going to happen. And you're going to start having chest pain if it's not inadequate coronary perfusion. So, like I said, everybody's heart is very selfish. It spends its time in 2/3 of its time in diastole and only 1/3 of the time in systole. So keep that in mind. I'll tell you why this is important at the end. So yesterday we talked about the heart sound. So during S1, at S1, there is what? The mitral and tricuspid valves are closing. And when they're closed, the aortic and pulmonary valves have to be open. They need to be open. So if they're not open, the blood's going to be stuck there. So mitral valve need to close because it will prevent the backflow of the blood going from your ventricles to your atria. So you don't want that. So you want that to be closed. So your aortic and pulmonary valves need to be open so the blood can go out. So the blood can go out, and once the blood goes out, it goes to your lungs and the rest part of the body. Okay, so hopefully if you didn't understand this part, you should go back to the previous video and look at it to understand this concept. So during S2, what's going on is your mitral valve and your tricuspid valves need to open, and then your aortic and pulmonary valve need to close. So during S2, your mitral and tricuspid valve is going to open, and your aortic and pulmonary valve need to close. So you need to know during those times which one is opening, which one is closing. So if you know this basic, heart murmur is so easy. Okay, so as long as you guys need to know this: mitral and tricuspid valve open or close, at what time. So if you know the time, then heart murmur is so simple. So this is your normal, what's going on in your body right now. Okay, so now let's look at heart murmurs itself. Stenosis. What is stenosis? Stenosis, what? It's stiff. It cannot open. So guess what? You have an opening problem. Whereas regurgitations, there's a problem in the backflow. So the valve cannot close properly, so the blood end up going from the ventricles to the atria. So that's what happened. So it goes from your aorta back into your ventricles again. So you need to know what's a stenosis. Stenosis it's an opening problem, whereas regurgitation is a closing problem. Stenosis, opening problem. Regurgitation is a closing problem. Okay, so you guys need to know this. This is just a really basic concept. Okay, so now let's look back at these heart murmurs again. What it's all about. So we're going to tell you systolic murmurs, diastolic murmurs. So we already said at S1 the mitral and tricuspid valves do what? They close. So there's a closing problem. So if the closing problem is what? It's a regurgitation. So an aortic and pulmonary valve open during systole, that means it's a stenosis problem. It's an opening problem. So you have your stenosis, your aortic and pulmonary valve stenosis. That's your systolic murmurs. Just as simple as this, guys. Just so simple. And diastolic murmurs, guess what? It's just the reverse of it. So mitral and tricuspid valves, open during diastole. So guess what? It's an opening problem. So it's going to be stenosis. Whereas aortic and pulmonary valve need to close. Guess what? It's a regurgitation. It's just so simple like that. You don't need to memorize which one is the systolic murmurs, which one is the diastolic murmurs. As long as you know what's going on at S1, what's going on at S2, and you know which one is an opening problem, which one is a closing problem, that's it. You can figure this out. Just very simple. Okay? Now we talk about 2/3, 1/3, 2/3, 1/3. Remember, your heart spends like 2/3 of the time in diastole and 1/3 of its time in systole, right? During diastole, your heart there's a coronary perfusion. So remember, your heart is very selfish. So 2/3 of the time, it's all that time to actually not reperfusion, but perfusion of the coronary arteries and stuff. So your heart needs to have all the oxygen and nutrients. So 2/3 of the time diastole, 1/3 of its time in systole. Why is that? Because guess what? You need to calculate your mean arterial pressure. And what is your mean arterial pressure? Guess what? It's 2/3 diastole and 1/3 of the systole blood pressure. This is a calculation you have to do. You need to know this. If you're going to work in critical care in the future, you need to know this. If for your exam, you need to know this. Why MAP is important? So when you talk about sepsis, we're going to say to you, you need a MAP greater than 60. So, and then if they give you blood pressure and you have to calculate and be like, oh my God, the MAP is less than 50. The person is tanking. This person is in septic shock. And so this is the reason why you need to know this. Hence the reason why I put like the 2/3, 1/3, 2/3, 1/3 there. That's to make it easier for you guys to remember this. And again, as long as you know this concept, 2/3 of the time in diastole and 1/3 of the time in systole, and you already know your MAP. So this is how you calculate your MAP and make it things simple and easy for you guys. You don't have to memorize things. So keep the memorization for your lab values and stuff like that, because that's something you need to memorize. But these concepts are very simple and basics. So if you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe, share the contents. Till next time, have a good one.